Hey EDCers, Freedom EDC here with a review to talk about a new multi-tool that I've been using, and that is the Swisstool X by Victorinox. I've got my Charge TTI by Leatherman here just as a comparison because I've been using this for a couple years, and when I wanted to switch to this and just keep this in my backpacking backpack, I learned a lot of things, and I want to share those with you. So these are just ideas on my own personal use of the item. Hopefully they're of some benefit to you. The Victorinox Swisstool X is the version that does not have the serrated blade. It comes with scissors instead, so that's the main difference between the X and the other versions out there. So getting on with it, I'm just going to go over what I found was the main differences after using them and my verdict at the end for whatever that's worth. Okay, this has 19 tools. This has about 24. Well, I say about because on the Swisstool website they say that this is one of the tools. Kind of doesn't make sense to me. So I say about. If we're up to me, it'd be 24 tools because that's not a tool. And it's not fair because Leatherman doesn't say this is a tool. Charge is 8.2 ounces. Swisstool X, 9.8. Weight, not a factor for me. This medium duty, this heavy duty, I don't look at it that way. I could have gotten a Spirit, but I went for the big square version because, you know, to me that added size and that weight, it's just not a factor. So I went for the Gusto and got this guy. So on to what I like and don't like. You know, these are differences. It's my opinion. But what I didn't like about this is what everyone talks about, that it doesn't have a one-handed blade operation. 90% of the time I'm using the blade. So I can hold my package, or what my task is, got to sharpen a pencil. I don't have to let go and I can just go to work. And here, set it down, find the tool, then I can use the blade. Again, to put it back, Boy Scout style, I'm going to close it with two hands and not do a one-handed deal on that. The other thing is the lanyard option on the Leatherman. This doesn't have a lanyard option. And I'm a lanyard fan. I just like having little lanyards on my tools. They say you can hook it right there, and I guess I could, but that doesn't seem like the design intent of this hole. That's for the corkscrew or the screwdriver. If they would have put just a little hole right here, or maybe one of these tools actually was a loop, that would have made it better for me. On this, what I don't like about this is probably the most flawed part of this design, but it comes with a benefit, and that is the tolerance right here. I call this area between that top of blade and this top of blade the blood blister factory, because it makes them all day long. And I try to remember, and most of the time I do, and having had this for over 2 years, I can now, before I crank down on something, pull my thumb out of there and then do it. But just starting out, I mean, that's a nice comfy spot to put your thumb. It's a sunken in portion of the tool and it feels nice. Then you open it up, you get to pinch down on something, you're wearing a blood blister for a week and a half. Tell me if I'm wrong here, if you guys haven't experienced that, but both sides gets me. It's been at least a dozen times I've done it. And I use the tool a lot too. You know, if you keep this in your backpack and never pull it out, I don't imagine you're going to be getting hurt with it just because of you're not interacting with it so much. But that's my gripe. Second one is, and you guys all see this coming, all the tools are on the outside of the Swisstool. I gotta open this to get my screwdriver, my scissors. Not a huge deal, but hey, that's really nice to not have to open it. Because I mean, I don't use these very often. Oh, the blood blister thing, by the way. See, it doesn't happen if you put your thumb there. Nice and wide. How that is. Okay, so what I like I said before, one hand action on the blade. What I like about this, it is just beautiful. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. I could sit and just hold this thing all day, look at it. You know, it has a nostalgic quality to it because when I was 10 years old, I got my first Swiss Army knife, a Super Tinker, you know, and it's got the same nail nick action, and it just brings me back, you know, that kind of that whole emotional attachment to it. I mean, for me, it's beautiful, and then I mean, this thing is just well thought out. Not to say this isn't, but I'm just saying what I like about this if I had to pick something out. So the verdict. I've carried this one, and I always carry it on my belt. And I've carried this one, and I always carry it on a pocket hook because it has one. Not a big deal that this doesn't have one because this is a really large tool, and I wouldn't want to pocket carry it. I don't have a problem with that. That's why I didn't call that a drawback, because I like it in the sheath. Very slim, narrow sheath, doesn't get in the way at all. Good design here. So the verdict is, in the city, at the job, you know, I choose this. One-hand convenience. This would be my primary blade when I EDC, going to work or around town. Mostly going to use a knife, and that's convenient. Primary blade, easy to get to. The other tools I use also, but not a big deal to pull it out of there. Now, camping, backpacking, outdoors, hiking around, this guy. And the reason why is this is my secondary blade, backup blade. Don't even use it. Don't even use it. I've got other knives that I carry on my belt that when I'm out in the woods, just that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use a 4.5 inch, you know, more well-rounded bushcraft or camp knife, whatever you want to call it. And this just stays in my pocket until I need, or in the sheath until I need something like scissors or the bottle opener or the can opener, whatever, the tools. And that's why I prefer this when I'm out and outdoors doing outdoor stuff. So there you go. I guess if I had to pick one, I was, you know, tight for money or gun to my head, and they said you only get one multi-tool. You know, could happen. I choose this. I choose the Leaterman Charge TTI because it does everything I need it to do, and it would be a balance between backpacking applications and in the city. But fortunately, I can have two. I have no desire to have more than two, and these are the two that I like the best. Highly recommend it. If you want to keep one in your car or your hiking bag and just leave it there and not have to, you know, repack it, this is a winner right here. So there you go. Leave a comment. Leave your experiences. Let me know. Love to hear your stories, but thanks for watching.